go.
Hey.
We might have solved our lighting problem.
Hey. We're brothers. We're happy and we're singing.
We're brothers?
And we're colored. Give me a high five. All right, guys, that was great.
Boom,
Dynamite.
boom, boom.
Do you want to talk about a topic or just vibe out?
Any conversation? I think we should get the random, wonderful thing.
Namdee will again choose.
No, I think that we're going to. Namdee did not choose. This is a different video. Namdee did not choose. Are you ready to choose? Here we go.
I guess. All right, folks.
I dropped one. Okay. What we got?
My name is LexC, and thank you so much for joining me for another video. I have a guest here today, my friend Namdee, singer, songwriter, poet, rapper, cookie monster, producer, engineer, all of that. We actually have cookies here.
Yes, they're made wonderfully, homemade.
With love.
With love.
But I made it. You told me you were baking them. I did bake them. In my oven. In my oven.
She had me thinking she put flour in there with the eggs and shit. I'm thinking like, oh snap, she over here from scratch.
They were placed on the sheet with love.
Nestle or Pillsbury?
Kroger.
Wow.
Does that change the taste?
I thought she went to Kroger.
But anyway.
Yes.
If you have not seen our previous video on the difference between working with an inexperienced and an experienced engineer, make sure you go check that out. I will put the link in a little bubble on the screen, either here or over there, one of those corners. But Namdee is back to help me with another video, and this time, I guess I'm choosing the topic.
And
that was dramatic.
It's okay.
And these nails.
We're in the entertainment industry.
These nails. I have acrylics right now. You see that?
Boom.
And it's too much for me. Nah, I can handle it. Baby,
I feel as if that's a good one. To this day.
Getting ready for a show.
Ooh. Ooh.
Getting ready for a show.
Getting ready for a show. So I am going to let you kick it off because you have an extensive record of being a wonderful live performer.
Really?
Yes.
I mean, don't you? Or are you talking about like as an artist? Do you not want to mention
you got that? This is your
poet side.
That's true. But you most definitely, I have seen your videos, and you have definitely, in terms of getting prepared for a show. You definitely...
Like you've seen my videos of me performing or me getting ready for a show?
No, I've seen your videos of you performing.
What?
You put them on.
Yeah, I did.
Oh my gosh, I'm dead. But yeah, so I'll let you kick it off because you have I feel this is more intimate for you.
It can be. And I guess when I wrote this topic, it was more so like to share little rituals that we may do, something that you, whoever you are watching, might want to add to your ritual, and stuff to look out for when you're getting ready for your show. So Namdee, before we got on camera, was saying, well, what kind of show? We're going to keep it pretty broad, like a showcase or a talent show, something local that you might find in your city. For me, when I'm getting ready for a show, first off, it starts like, I don't like taking shows last minute, even though I do practice singing my songs and I always imagine how I would, perform it on stage. Taking a show last minute I've forgotten lyrics before, and I don't like to take shows last minute because I don't have the time to prepare, if that makes sense. Like, I know I'm good, but I also want to make sure that I'm putting on a good show. So typically, if I'm going to do a show, I like to have at least a week's notice so I can have a few days, at least a few hours to prepare. So first off, before getting ready for a show, is thinking about practicing for it and how I want to present it to the public and what I'm going to say in between my songs, how I'm going to introduce myself. Because how you think about your performance before you even step on stage is a huge part of performing. And a lot of times, the reason why I don't like taking shows last minute is because I'll psych myself out thinking, oh dang, I didn't practice this enough, so I don't know how this is going to turn out. When you prepare for a show, you have a better likelihood of knowing, all right, I'm about to kill this because I practiced da 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 da. You know what I mean? So some things I've done just before the show, like actually I'm at the venue and my name is about to get called. I'll do weird things like I like to do squats because for some reason I get real jittery and like shaky and cold for no reason before I get on stage. So to warm up, I'll find a back room or just be all the way in the back of the venue or in the bathroom or something and do some squats really quickly. You know, when they say LexC on deck, it's like, all right. Those nerves hit you all of a sudden.
You're excited.
So I like to do squats before I get on stage.
That's real.
And I'll sing like part of my song for a vocal warm-up. I don't actually do a formal vocal warm-up the way that maybe I should because I just find it's easier to just, you know, you're about to sing it anyway, so go ahead and get those little jitters out. Yeah. Okay. Hours before, I make sure I've been drinking water all day or the night before.
Absolutely.
So my vocal cords will be hydrated.
Absolutely.
Because if you smoke, if you've had candy, you've had alcohol, those sugars, it's going to dehydrate your vocal cords. It's going to dehydrate you. And you're not going to be able to breathe as well as you would if your body and all of your ligaments were properly hydrated.
Absolutely.
What else do I do? You can go ahead, because I can't think
of it. You sure?
Yeah.
You know what it is?
I got some stuff, but
she has so many things, she doesn't know how to actually adequately put them back to back.
In a way that makes sense, right? Without my mind seeming so scattered.
She performs. She does that. But as for me personally, I will talk more or less, not necessarily ritual, but my personal approach to performing. So I look at performing like conveying your message to people in person, right? So like when you record a track, you're like, oh, like I want them to feel this and I want them to feel that. But when you play the song, it is what it is. It's either they feel it or they don't. Right? But like when you're performing a song, there's so many other factors that you can actually make them feel that feeling, even if sonically everybody won't feel that if they were just to hear it, if that makes any sense, right?
Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
So
the way that you present it will determine how people will rock with it versus if they just hear it on their own accord. Some people may bop with it, some people may not.
Absolutely.
Your performance can be the difference in them liking it and vibing with it or not.
Absolutely. And so that's how I approach performing. I approach it in terms of my mindset, in terms of how I want my show to go. I always go in there with the mindset of what message am I trying to convey and what actions can I do or how can I do it that will get that message clear and concise. So like if I have a song that I'm performing or a poem or something that is more serious, no, not serious, let's say funny or upbeat, my performance is going to reflect that. So my stage presence is going to reflect that. That's another thing I would say about performing. Performing is very, very stage presence oriented. Like your stage presence is almost, what am I saying? Is about the same as if your vocals are. Your stage performance.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm right back.
It's big things popping right now. Big things popping right now. We're gonna pause this. Oh shit! How'd I stop it?
So, I think the last thing you were talking about that I caught before the phone call came in is depending on, sometimes just listening to the song by itself, people would not mess with it.
Yes.
But the way you perform it will get people to mess with it. But what'd you say after that?
Yes, I did. So I said that, well, I don't know exactly what I said after that, but I do know where I was trying to take it. And so what I'm trying to say is that artists, y'all should look at performance as part of your marketing, as part of the experience that you're providing for people. Like, I feel as if that because we're in a very social media heavy environment right now, culture, that people feel as if that actual physical live performance is not needed. And actually that is still the most effective way to get people to like you. And I feel as if now that we have so many people that are so social media heavy, people that do put in that work and do that live performance, you're going to stand out because when the time comes for people to actually come to your performance, not only will you have the experience, but you also have the backlog of people that will be able, listen, word of mouth is always going to be the best promotion. It doesn't matter what happens, no matter what technology that we come up with, someone is always going to take the word of their peers above people they don't know, you know? And whether that's good or bad or indifferent, that's a conversation for another time. But from a performance aspect as an artist, that's key. Like, there's nothing better than you performing and someone telling their friend when they get home in their car, like, yo, I met this person tonight and they are amazing.
Met them face to face.
You know what I'm saying? Like that
interaction.
Like their performance was amazing. And like, you'll be surprised if and when you get to that level in your career where people will start coming up to you and they'll tell you, like, yo, I remember seeing you before you even did. And dude, I knew from right then and there you were the one. And I went home and told my friends, I told my mom, like, that stuff, it's never gonna not matter. It's never gonna not matter. So I like to approach my performances like that. I want every performance I have to be a moment, you know? So for me, I definitely practice quite a bit before I hit the stage. Like, I practice.
How many hours would you say?
How many hours,
or
man?
Minutes? Or does it depend how long your set's gonna be?
It does, but so this is not gonna sound weird. I practice performing even when I'm not performing.
That's not weird at all.
Yeah, so it's like I practice
no
performing.
Sarcasm,
You know,
bro,
for real.
weird.
Like, I practice performing even when I'm not performing. Like, so let's say, like, if I am in a mode where I know that performances are coming up, I'll perform anywhere. Like, and what I mean by that is, like, I could be in my car driving. I could be, like, in the mirror brushing my teeth. I can be
in the shower.
Yeah, if I'm in that performance mode where I know that I got performances coming up, I am performing everywhere. And then when I have the opportunity to full on do my routine, that low key adds up, because that muscle memory up here, man, it's a thing. So that's one thing. So my preparation is definitely, like, you can't, like, if performing to you is a hassle, you shouldn't do this. Go find something else to do. Like,
that's the bread and butter of your job as an artist.
Period.
Especially like Namdee was saying, we're in a digital age, in a social media driven culture where people think that follows are more important than actual physical bodies being in a building or people actually buying. Followers mean nothing if you cannot direct these people to support, to come out to a live show, or even to get your merch online.
Facts.
Followers mean nothing if you cannot sway a crowd, if you can't connect to people when they come spend their hard-earned money to come see you put on a show and it's whack.
Facts.
You're letting people down, and you don't really want it like you say you do, because you would not want to allow anyone to feel like they were not entertained when they came to see you.
Absolutely. It's a way for you to show your personality.
Yeah.
Like, people, they love your music, but they love your personality too. That was just, like, everybody, like, I was, there are 7 billion people on this planet, and all 7 billion of them are talented.
Goddamn.
Okay? If you think that because you recorded something in your room or in a studio, no matter how high priced the studio is, that you're just going to drop it and people are going to love it, you got nothing coming. All right? You got to have that. There's a reason why they call it an it factor. Your performance is part of that it factor. It's part of that it. It's part of that moment where people...
Something about you.
I can't put my finger on it, but there's something about the way she sings. There's something about the way the guy walks on stage. I don't know what it is. That's another opportunity for you to showcase who you are. So I would say that. So if you feel if anything that we are both saying sounds like a hassle, go do something else, man. Like, don't even waste your time. Like, forget, you're not gonna waste my time. You don't waste your time. Don't waste your time, because you're gonna be 30-something and upset. Like, for real. Like, go do something. Like, maybe you need to be a song. Maybe you need to be a behind-the-scenes guy. You know what I'm saying? Or, like, you know, like, I don't know. Like, but that aspect of the industry is not for you.
That reminds me of a video I saw on Instagram of the rapper Russ. He was basically talking about, like, people have this scarcity mentality. They're so afraid that if they help someone get to a certain level, that somehow means their success is going to be blocked.
Not.
And then I forget what he ended it with, because that's a whole nother conversation, the whole scarcity mindset. But he was basically like, some people are just really good. If you have the talent, it's always going to get you to the places that you need to be, that you're meant to be.
Agreed.
If you're not getting to those places, it's because you have a scarcity mindset, or maybe you're just not that good. And some people are not being honest with their friends if you're not that good. But anyway.
Yeah, but here's the thing, though. Not being good is okay. It's okay to not be good at something, because at least now you know what your strengths are. There's nothing wrong with not being good at something. I think this goes back to social media age and this new era of music where you feel as if, oh my gosh, everybody's perfect. Like, no, bro, listen, it's okay to not be be good. It's part of the process. So that's just me in terms of my thoughts, like
mentality.
Yeah, my mentality when it comes to performing. From a technical aspect, want to hold the mic correctly. That'll mess up. And no, you could be an amazing performer, but if you hold that mic wrong,
if you're covering,
oh man, go ahead.
Keep talking.
Go ahead.
Keep talking.
Yo, like, so basically, I'm gonna let her come back and explain the mic stuff. But like, if you gotta make sure your mic is right. All right, make sure your mic is right. Because it's really, really important. Because you may think people can hear you, but nobody can hear you.
Oh my gosh.
And there's nothing that the audio engineer is just going to be able to do to save you if you can't hold the mic. God. You want to show them?
What?
Go ahead and show them.
All right. So here's the mic, right? If you hold it like this,
nobody can hear
how is the sound coming through? The sound comes through here.
Yo,
and you're holding it like this because you think it looks cool on stage. You seen your favorite rapper do it. That's wrong. The sound comes in through here. Hold your mic like this.
Absolutely.
With the head exposed.
Absolutely.
Come on, camera focus. So that you're getting the most amount of sound that you can, the best pickup.
Absolutely.
And so you'll actually sound like quality. And plus you know what you're doing when you're holding the mic like this versus some newbie, I don't know, holding like, look how much sound gets in from here compared to when you do this. It's a huge difference.
Yeah. What about the distance between you and the mic when you're on stage?
I would say you don't need to be up on the mic like this.
Absolutely.
Like eating the mic. There's this thing called proximity effect, which is a little technical. When you're too close to the mic, you're creating a lot of bass buildup at the microphone, so you're sounding more muddy and not as clear as you should be. The mic can be from, let's say, like 4 inches away from you. And then depending on how loudly or intensely you're singing, sometimes you can do like this whole thing. If you see singers doing that, that's because they're trying to make sure that the sound quality of their voice coming into the microphone is not going to be peaking. It's not going to be too muddy if it's too close. It's not going to be too faint if it's too far. You're not going to basically pierce people's ears. So that's all the kind of things you have to think of when you are practicing. How are you going to be holding your microphone for people to best hear you?
Practice before you get on stage.
I had to get the microphone because that's such a pet peeve of mine. People not holding it properly.
There you go. And so something that goes hand in hand with that I think LexC will agree with me also on, is that your best friend in a live performance is the engineer in the building, okay? Make good friends with him or the DJ, whoever is the person that's controlling the sound. You want to make friends with that person because it's just a pro tip. Like, you don't have to. They'll just give you the basic regular stuff. But if you really want to set yourself apart as a performer, like, walk up there and talk to the engineer, talk to the DJ, even shout the DJ out before you get on stage, like while the mic is in your hand. Like these things matter because
they control your sound.
And not only that, but every artist has a band. They're part of your band. The DJ is part of your band. He
Even
sets
if you
the tone.
just met them that night.
They're part of your band.
They are a part of your experience, your presentation.
And the people don't know that they don't know him. So my recommendation to anybody at any live performance, you want to get the live engineer's name, you want to get the DJ's name, the host's name if there is one. All of these people are all part of your performance. Just because you have a 10, 15-minute set, you're a part of an overall larger performance. And you have to stay in that pocket. You have to keep that in mind, you know? Like, those things add up. And like we said, everything is a building process. Like you people probably know, which is why you're watching this channel. If there are 10 people on stage that's performed, but you're the only one that knows the host name, the DJ's name, and the live engineer's name, guess who can potentially network and follow up with them? You. Okay?
Even if the audience isn't messing with you that night, there's something to be said when you're remembering the names of the people who are orchestrating the entire event. Because really, they have the power to give you more opportunities to be on stage to build your audience.
And perfect that craft. So those are my two major, since we're just going basic stuff, right? We're not getting too technical.
Yeah.
Those are my two major things that I would say.
Preparation and getting to know the house.
And Mike. So there's three. You know, we can get into other like technical stuff like lighting and all that stuff, but that's low key out of your control.
Yeah.
But The more you get
right
to
now, it's out of your control.
But the more you get to know those people, it won't be. Wink, wink. Get what we're saying here? Hopefully it's clicking.
I see it. It's clicking.
The light bulb.
It's clicking.
Ding. So yeah, what else can you say? Have you had any experiences with let's say about the crowd control? What are your thoughts on crowd control?
Crowd control. So we are entertainers, and I just had this not epiphany. I've always known about it, but being an entertainer is like the ultimate form of customer service, where we hate to, nobody should be judging me. I don't care what nobody thinks, but really you have to care what the people are thinking if they're engaging with you. If they're not engaging, are you staying in one spot on the stage? Are you up at the microphone, not moving? Do you have any choreography? Are you looking people in the eyes, or are you staring off in the back at some random spot on the wall because you're too afraid to make eye contact? All of those things and the energy that you're putting off, the crowd can sense that, and they can tell if you're nervous. They can tell if you don't really care about them. They can tell if you're not confident in what you're performing. So preparation is going to play a huge factor in that. In did you take the time to see where are some parts in my song that I can get the crowd involved? Maybe it's a catchy part of your song where they can repeat something, like know it real easily, and you can throw it back to them. Or maybe is it an emotional song? How am I going to make sure that people feel me? Like, I have a song called Crazy Time, and I kind of...
A good song called Crazy Time, might I add.
Thank you. International, by the way.
Okay.
But when I perform that song, I always know that it's something I want people to feel more so than, be kind of turned up to it. I want them to listen to the storyline. So I won't be too animated in my movements and too, crazy with the dynamics of my vocals. I'll stay in one spot for maybe the first verse, and then I'll walk over to the front end of the stage. I'll bend over, I'll look somebody in the eye, and I'll point at them to make that personal connection. And that's how I like to get people involved in my music for that particular song anyway. So you're really going to have to think about, what kind of song am I performing? How am I going to get people engaged? How am I going to connect with people while I'm performing that song?
Yeah. So crowd control, the key component. Do you have any, I guess you could say, lessons that you learned when you first started performing in terms of dealing with, let's say, security, backstage, maybe some people in the crowd that may not have necessarily had the most etiquette? Is there anything, you have anything like that?
Luckily, I haven't had any particularly bad experiences with people. I will say that it's been super embarrassing when you shout out to the crowd, "How's everybody doing tonight?" and literally nobody says anything back. If you're not careful, that'll break you and shake your whole performance.
Absolutely.
So you got to kind of prepare yourself mentally. All right, I'm at this stage right now. People may not respond back. Keep moving, keep breezing past it. If people are yelling random things, there was this one outfit I wore to the art house tour, and it was like a cat suit with the thing coming down the middle and all the way down my thigh.
Okay. And
I overheard somebody say, "Oh, girl, she ain't got no panties on." And I was like, "Yes, girl, I sure don't." And it made the whole crowd laugh. So you kind of have to be making sure you're on your toes about if people say something, am I going to respond? If I do respond, how am I going to respond without it getting in the way of wherever you are in the music in your set?
Absolutely. And to piggyback on that, there is a little bit of back and forth between you and the audience. There will be that naturally. And even if they like you. There's gonna be there's gonna be a little back and forth. But if you are quick-witted, like she said, you could actually use that to your advantage. I would also say another thing is, I know we talk about detail and all that stuff, but there's a balance between paying attention to detail and over paying attention to detail. Now, allow me to explain. Before you step on that stage, pay attention to detail. You have to be as detail-oriented as possible. The moment you get on that stage, remember, the crowd doesn't know what's going on.
They don't see everything.
So if you stumble on a word, or let's say you might fumble, maybe you might miss a step, keep ongoing, because you'll be surprised at how many people do not notice, because at a lot of these performances,
people don't think it's part of the show.
Part of the show. Like someone probably thought that, the response that she gave to that girl, maybe some people thought that was part of the show.
Mm-hmm.
That stuff is important. So like prior to, in your preparation for the performance, yes, you most definitely want to be as detail oriented as possible. But the moment that music start playing, man, or you're the band, or you start your piece, whatever type of performer you're doing, all that go out the window. You got to just, whatever it is you need to handle, you can handle it later. And when you one day get to that point where you're a famous singer and everybody loves you, then maybe you can pull a Beyonce or a Nicki and be like, can you turn the beat up? Can you do da-da-da? Because it's
somebody's getting fired today.
Yeah, you can do all of that because it's your show.
She is a pro at the show must go on.
Right.
I've seen her fall down 15 steps, get back up and keep performing. Yep. It's okay to know the details, but when you're on stage, some things are truly out of your control.
Out of your control.
Do not let it be so in your head that you forget where you are in your song, and now you're like Mariah Carey at New Year's Eve. Something happened where it skipped and she was like lip syncing, but she was so pissed and she didn't even try to stick with the music. She was walking around with an attitude and everyone could just tell. And me and my friends still talk about it 2 years later.
And that's a thing. The only reason why you should stop performing once the music goes on is if your life is in mortal danger. For real, to be perfectly honest with you. If you're truly, 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 truly passionate and you truly want to be the best artist you can be, the only reason why you should stop performing is if your life is threatened or they shut it down. You're literally singing and the lights turn off. You know what I mean?
Damn, they shut that down.
Yeah, like for real. That's the only reason.
Beyonce at Super Bowl.
And even at that, she was still singing. So you just couldn't hear it. So you the show must go on. That saying is a real thing. The show must go on. So once you get on that stage and it starts, whatever happens, it happens. And low key, you may not believe it. It may sound far fetched, but people will be impressed with how you handle a live performance in adversity.
And that makes you seem very much more professional.
Very much more professional. If the world is burning and you're like, they're like, damn, this place is on fire and she's still singing, or he's still singing, or he's still rapping, whatever it is you do, it shows your level of commitment and your level of focus. And performance is that key component, man. I promise you. Let's see. What else would you like to see? What else? What do we?
Last thing I want to mention.
Yeah.
You gotta kind of hurry because it's gonna hit 29 soon.
It is gonna hit 29
soon.
In
memory.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna get a new card. I swear. Think about what you're going to wear.
That's key.
I've been a judge on a panel one time, and the dude was kind of like a gangster rapper, but he was dressed like a nerd, and I didn't understand his branding. I didn't understand the character or what he was trying to show me with his imagery.
That's a major key.
In customer service, people gotta like your performance, but people also kind of have to get it as soon as they see you. You don't. Absolutely. And I hate when people say, "Oh, you don't look like an artist," because an artist can look like anything. But you have to look like what you intend for people to think of you as. If you're not presenting yourself in that way, then it's very confusing for people and it's harder for people to connect.
Because you're trying to communicate a message.
Yes. So think about what you're going to wear before you're doing this performance.
Very key. So, I guess to wrap it all up, because we are nearing our end, right?
Yeah.
My name is Namdee. You can follow me on Instagram at nam.dee. And this is the wonderful, amazing Lex. This is her channel. Y'all should follow her, subscribe, hit the notification. And also comment, go down in the comments, share your stories, share your advices, share your experiences, this is we're a community. And as a community, we should share.
Doing my outro for me.
Yes, it's the least I can do. She made me cookies. Can you make me cookies just to come and talk on the camera like that? What are you talking? I'm a cookie monster. I'll fuck a cookie up. Oh, what?
Whoa.
Oops. We're going to bleep that out.
Nasty. But anyway. Thank y'all so much for watching. Thank you to Namdee and collabing with me on this video. Until next time, peace.
Peace. That's so great.
We both gross.
I did not even think like that.